All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, after New York Mets starting pitcher Max Scherzer exited his last start this past Saturday, he left early with fatigue. At first, there was a notion that he would, plow through it in order to keep going. But since then, cooler heads have prevailed as the three-time Cy Young Award winner is now headed to the IL. Now, this is a cautious move by the Mets, but it is also the right move. And I say that because the Mets currently find themselves in a battle with the Atlanta Braves for the top spot in the National League East. And this division race might not be decided until the final days of the regular season. However, whoever finishes in second place between the Mets and Braves is still in a prime position to make the playoffs, as both of these clubs more than likely are going to win at least 100 games this year. Now, you think about it, if you don't win this division, the wild card round is no longer a one game sudden death scenario for to advance, as it's now a three-game series. And if you're the Mets, it's more important to have a healthy Scherzer in your rotation in October, regardless if you're a wild card team or a division winner, than just worrying about trying to go all in right now to win your division. Now, let's not, dance around the floor on this. Scherzer turned 38 years of age in July. Veteran pitcher. He's been doing it for a long time. You're talking about a guy with nearly 3,200 career strikeouts and more than 2,600 innings pitched in a 15-year MLB career. So, yes, Scherzer is still one of the best pitchers to get it done in the current game. But at the same time, you have to be practical about this if you're both Scherzer and the Mets. And make no mistake about it, in the postseason, you need as much quality pitching as possible. And the Mets didn't sign Scherzer, to come here and be a cheerleader in those critical moments. They signed him to be a guy at the top of their rotation. They signed him to be a guy who would take that ball when the chips were pushed to the middle of the table. And at the end of the day, they signed him to help him get them, for him to help them get to the postseason, and not just get to the postseason, but also do some damage while they're there. So this is why you bring in a guy like Matt Scherzer. And this right here is a good move by the Mets, obviously, in my opinion. But it's also a breath of fresh air because it's a different day for the Mets brain trust. And I'm talking about Steve Cohen, Sandy Alderson, the Mets president of baseball ops, Billy Epler, the team's general manager, and Buck Showalter, the Mets manager. And I say that because under the old guard, and I mean the old ownership of Fred and Jeff Wilpon, you know, Max Scherzer would not be on the DL right now. Max Scherzer would have probably just, been given a day or two off, and then the Wilpons would have pushed him right back out there, made the situation worse than what it already is. And before you know it, Scherzer is done for the season, and now you got to try to go out there and make a World Series run next month without your top guy in your rotation. So the Mets have shown that they could survive without guys this year because they didn't have Jacob DeGrom for a good chunk of the season, and already Max Scherzer missed time earlier with an injury, and the Mets were able to weather the storm, stay in first place, and of course, the rest is history. So, if you're the Mets and you can find a way to come out, and obviously you're going to make the playoffs, that's a given. So if you're the Mets, you can go out there and take care of your business, and then you turn around and now have a potentially fresh or somewhat fresh Scherzer for the playoffs. It's going to help your case to make a postseason run, regardless if you enter the playoffs as the winners of the NL East or you go in for a wild card spot. So the way I'm looking at it, and of course, I don't work for the Mets organization. I would foresee the Mets bringing Scherzer back to the fold at some point, probably towards the end of the season, maybe one of those last um, three series, maybe four series, at Oakland, home for Miami, at Atlanta, and then home for Washington. Allow him to probably get, one solid start under, his belt, get his sea legs back, so to speak, if you will, and get himself ready to make a postseason push. I mean, don't get me wrong. This guy knows how to get it done in the playoffs. He's been there with the Detroit Tigers. He helped the Washington Nationals win a World Series in 2019. And then, of course, he was with, excuse me, the Los Angeles Dodgers last year. So I think the Mets are being cautious. It's the right move. They were able to bounce back and sweep their doubleheader with the Pittsburgh Pirates today, which gives them a half game lead over the Atlanta Braves in the NL East. But obviously, they still have plenty of work to do. So do the Braves, like I talked about last night. But nonetheless, you need your big guns in October. And if you're the Mets, you definitely know that you're going to be playing baseball, an important baseball in October. It's just a matter of this point, you just don't know if you're going to do it as a wild card or as a division winner. But nonetheless, the right move is to get Scherzer healthy for the postseason. Let him rest. Let him come back strong for your playoff run if you're the Mets. And let's see what you and the veteran crafty left-hander can do as the Metropolitans try to make themselves a World Series run next month. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I am signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.